Hello, hello, I'm Jordan, and this is Andalusia Knits, my YouTube channel where I talk about all things knitting. And today I have a tutorial for y'all about horizontal seaming. So horizontal seaming is just one of a few different methods for joining two pieces of knitted fabric horizontally. And honestly, between the 3-needle bind off and grafting, it's not a technique that gets a lot of love a lot of the time. But I really appreciate this technique because unlike the 3-needle bind off and unlike grafting, there are no live stitches involved. All the stitches are safely bound off before you begin the seaming process. So you don't have to worry about anything accidentally flying off the needles as you're doing this join. So I don't want to waste any more time. I want to get right to the tutorial. So let's go to the overhead and take a look at how you do a horizontal seam in knitting. Okay, to begin the seaming process, you're going to want to first take your two pieces and lay them out top and bottom so that the two edges that are going to be seamed together are touching. And you also want to make sure that both of your pieces are oriented correctly as well. So take a look at the stockinette in both sections and just make sure that those stockinette V's are moving upward in both panels. Everything is set up correctly now, so it's time to begin the seaming. Now, for the purposes of this tutorial, I've gone ahead and seamed a few stitches, and I'm about halfway through these two panels because it's a little bit easier to see what's going on after you have done a couple stitches. But if you are going to be seaming two pieces of flat knitting together, you're going to want to start at the far right of those panels. If you're seaming in the round, first and foremost, if you're working from a pattern, do whatever the pattern tells you to do. But otherwise, in the round, you can start at any point in the round because you're going to circle back around to where you start. So first, you're going to locate the next available stitch on the bottom panel, and you're going to insert your tapestry needle underneath the right leg, and you're going to pull your yarn through. And then you're going to move up to the top panel and you're going to find the corresponding column of stitches that's lined up with the bottom panel, and you're going to insert your needle under both legs of this stitch and pull it through. And then from here, you're going to go back into that original stitch that you inserted the needle under, and you're going to insert the needle under the left leg of this stitch, but you're also going to insert the needle underneath the right leg of the next stitch and pull through. And from here, the seaming process gets a little bit easier. Now it's just a matter of going under two legs on the top panel and two legs on the bottom panel. And it's just a matter of remembering that you're going under both legs of the same stitch on the top panel, and you're going under a single leg of two adjacent stitches on the bottom panel. And you just work this process until you've made it all the way across the row or across the round. And I will meet you when I get to that point. So once you completed the seam, similarly to grafting, you can go back and adjust the tension of individual stitches by picking at the legs with your tapestry needle like this. And so as you're working the seam itself, you don't have to stress too much about getting the perfect tension because you can go back and address that after the fact. And that's it for horizontal seaming. Now, because the seam does have the bind off and cast on edge of these panels here on the back, you are able to see and feel it a little bit in the finished result. But if you get the tension really consistent across the entire seamed row, I think that even though it does look visible, it looks very intentional, it looks very professional, and maybe a little controversially in the knitting world, it looks kind of machine made, which is a style that I really like. So I appreciate that the seam is more sturdy than grafting, and that even though it is not quite as invisible as grafting, it provides a very clean, refined, finished look. So that's it for the tutorial. Thanks for sticking around. I hope that it was helpful to you. I hope that you are able to use that in your knitting in the future. If you did find it helpful, if you did enjoy the tutorial, I would really appreciate a like on the video. And if you don't want to miss tutorials like this from me in the future or other knitting videos from me in the future, I would also highly encourage you to subscribe to the channel. But I think that's going to do it for today's video, and I will see y'all in the next one. Bye!